Well, looky. Is this what I think it is? So I was coming down here to get started on working on my motorcycle and decided to look out to see if my carburetor came because the wifey said, your carburetor is supposed to be here today. When I purchased it, it said that it'll be here by Tuesday, and today is Friday. I was really hoping it would come earlier. Anyway, this may be my carburetor. Let's open it and find out. I got the one that is the MYK VM26 30mm carb PZ30. I didn't get the one with the fuel filter. Some of them came with all kinds of gaskets and different things. But I got the low cost one. And it looks like an exact fit, like the one that was on there. So the rain stopped. You can see the scratches from what I scraped it up against the curb when the back tire slipped off the curb. Scraped up there, right here. Look at that one. It's amazing how deep the scrapes are, considering I could replace the mirrors. That's one thing I was thinking about anyway. I could get a new one of these, a different design, and that's easy to replace. So I can take care of all that. And I was planning on replacing those too. On the main plastics, I didn't get any scrapes except for just this little bit right here. I don't know how I threw the carburetor off. It looks fine. Maybe just wear and tear over time. But what I'm going to do now is see how it relates to everything on the bike and start to disconnect it. I watched a few videos on all the steps. I'm going to start with taking off the plastics. It's starting to rain again. We're going to take a pause. Actually, I don't even think it was raining. It was just the wind blowing and the rain falling from the trees. So in here, I keep an Allen wrench, and I changed all the screws, or most of the screws on the plastics, to Allen wrench bolts. Let's see if I have the right size. This makes it easy if I'm out somewhere. I can just do what I need to do. I can turn this because it won't reach in that way. There we go. That was tight. So I'm going to go ahead and take the plastics off on both sides, and we're going to start from there. That's what I'm working with. The battery. You can hear the raindrops, but it's not really raining. I don't think it's just falling from the tree. You can tell from the sound of the birds the rain is stopping. It's way back there. Alright, it's time to dig in. Take off this first. screwdriver. I've taken this off a few times while replacing various things. Oh, like when I did the adjusting the shock. I think I'm going to do that also while I have this part. I want to lift it up a little bit higher. So go ahead and remove this hose. At one point this hose wasn't even all the way on there. I think I disconnected it, didn't reconnect it properly when I put the air filter in the first time. So I can see the inside of the choke, the inside of the intake now. And we adjust the lever. See, it's wonky, it doesn't stick. When you push it down, you hit a bump, it starts to open up on its own, like the spring or something inside. It's just gone. It doesn't have any snap to it. It's not that dirty, but it is dirty. It looks about like the other one when it's fully closed. Half open, I can't really tell what the halfway point is. I guess right about there. And then fully open, that looks right. As far as fine tuning it, like I said, I hope that this was a PC-30. I hope, and it's by Xingwei. I'm just talking in between my sentences. Anyway, what I was gonna say is I hope the factory settings are good. I would assume, you know, if I was producing one of these, I would kind of know what settings are best when I'm doing it, and I would send it out with the preset settings to make sure it's going to work good for anybody who doesn't know what they're doing. So now that I got the intake off, I'm going to start taking off these bolts that go to the engine. Actually, you want to take off the whole gasket so that you can set this properly. But I mean, I could be hardhead and try to do it without taking it off from the engine, which I would prefer to do it that way. If everything's set up, I mean, this is all about centering it. And this is a rubber seal. I don't think it has a gasket. That would save me a step. Everyone says take it off from here. I'm not usually one to take shortcuts. Well, yeah. I like to do it my way, to be honest. Why shouldn't I be able to mount it directly on there without taking it off from here? The main reason is because people don't properly set the O-ring, and so you have a air leak. So you want to make sure you can see that when you set it, so everything's tight. So I'm going to do it properly and unbolt it from the engine. Let's go ahead and disconnect this cord first. Or say I can unscrew that and mount it onto the new one. First I'm going to disconnect this bolt. Then the one on the other side. Let me turn the fuel off first. On position. And it's in an off position. Fuel hose is going around and down into the top of the carburetor. It kind of gets in the way when, well, the hose taps on this one. Maybe that's was. It's all the way down, but it's not clicking. Not really, it's gotten soft. So we got to take this loose, but the hose is going to be easier to get loose once I said take these bolts out. I was all worried about plug and play, but now I know how it works. I can just go ahead and pull it out. I forgot to take this loose. This should be a 10mm as well. Hear the rain starting back. I'm not sure if the new carburetor is going to have that same oh yeah, it will. It goes right into where that goes. Okay. Now just the hoses. The bottom hose stays on there. This hose over here by the choke, it comes off. So this one I'm going to take off. Okay, so I'll just take the flathead and pry underneath the hose if you pull it. There we go. Oh, the other one is just a fuel drain. It just goes down in case there's any gas leaking out, and it goes underneath the bike. Okay, so we're ready for the install. Just thought before we have to put the other carb in, but let's start with this. Pull it out so I can see it. Okay. Unscrew. Gasoline smell. Let's go wash my hands. See how the wire's on there now. Okay. The opening was on the choke side, but that's a small opening. The one where the pin goes in is on the other side. Okay. The low opening is on the choke side. The pin goes in on the other side. And it's angled towards me. Okay, new carburetor looks just like this without that on there. It feels like it's heavier also. I'm gonna try to keep this underneath the bike so it doesn't get wet while I disconnect this. Can I disconnect that? Oh, okay, right here. Right there. Other screw's right beneath me. I'm going to spray some silicone in there also. Let's place this carb right here. And I'm going to go install this on the new carburetor and wash my hands.